tongues they bind tight. In the shadows we lose sight.
Eyes watching the darkened night. Two ticket rules with all might. Voices tremble, hearts in pain. Freedom feels like distant rain.
Oh, the fear that grips the soul when the night takes its toll. Prison bars for words we speak. Under shadows we grow weak.
Hushed cries in the midnight air. Lives caught in the web of despair. Each day a fearful game we play, hiding thoughts we dare not say.
Will the dawn break with light, chase away this endless night? Or will shadows take our call and let our spirit fall? Oh, the fear that grips the soul when the night takes its toll. Prison bars for words we speak. Under shadows we grow weak.
Hushed cries in the midnight air. Lives caught in the web of despair. Each day a fearful game we play, hiding thoughts we dare not say.
Will the dawn break with light, chase away this endless night? Or will shadows take our call and let our spirit fall? Oh, the fear that grips the soul when the night takes its toll. Prison bars for words we speak. Under shadows we grow weak.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1, mark.
Five by five, we're on a drop ship into hell. It's Friday night and we're all in.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous, can't but we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo.
I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe.
So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
Hey, hey, hey! We've got a little bit of Irish in the house for you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and a big hand for David Nolan.
Hey, good to be here, John. Thanks for having me on. All in.
Great
Yeah, baby.
to see you, mate. It's been, and thanks for standing in at short notice after Ed the Techie let us down. Dropped
Don't worry
us.
about it. Ed's the man. I cannot replace Ed, but happy to be a sport and be here tonight.
No, it's great. It's great. So, yeah, there we go. We've got David Nolan tonight, so I hope you people are happy with that.
Treat me nice, folks. Hello,
Yeah.
Troll Room.
The troll room will be fine. In fact, let's just go there and see who we've got. We got Ray, Shalini, Julie, Militant, Beats and Tapes. Beats and Tapes is back. Haven't seen him for ages. I don't know where he was last night. Robin, Tony, Militant Mushroom, Espresso Mechanic, good grief, Teresa. It's a full house tonight. It's a full house.
Good.
Julie and Dreadeye, as always. And Robin, what was the nonsense about a Marsquake? Did you have some kind of earthquake where you live? But anyway, we'll find out about that in due course. I would imagine. How is the audio, people? Is the replacement for Ed loud enough?
Check, baby, check. 5.
Turn them up a little bit. Turn
Hello,
them up.
Shalini. Díhuit. Can I talk to? Will to come Colleen.
Right. I had a phone call. Well, I made a phone call this morning, David, because when I got up, I mean, was it only last night? No, it was the night before, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the night before. Wednesday night, I made a little video. I went online, and I just went through a thing that happened to somebody, and it was, it's a tragic thing. Been having stuff stolen from you. But I went through it because, if you're going to put a full statement out online and tell the world, then I think you've got to expect that the world has the opportunity to reply to you. So I just went through it, and I pointed out a lot of things that I would have been questioning if it had been me that had been investigating it. And when I woke up this morning, I had a message from this gentleman, and he seemed quite reasonable. He said that, although he did say I'd slandered them, and I don't think I have. I don't think I've said anything of the kind. But anyway, he asked me to call him, and I thought maybe he was wanting a right reply, and he would come on the show and we could have a chat about it. But no, that's not what happened at all. So I made the call. I asked to speak to him, and as soon as he heard the Scottish accent, that was that. Boom! He went in. He went in for the kill.
all in.
All in. Just basically, he obviously had a beef to grind, or whatever you say. That's not even an expression, is it? He had an axe to grind. That's it. He had an axe to grind, and obviously it maybe helped him to get it off his chest, and I hope it did. But Ultimately, long story short, he just hung up after calling me a number of names, and I really didn't get a chance to say anything at all. So
He
there
just
we go.
wanted to vent. Well, I think that's the thing, John. It's like if you put something as personal as that, out on the interwebs, people are
Mhm.
going to scrutinize it. You're going to get an ex-copper like Porter. He's going to come along and go, hello, hello, hello.
Hello. That's
Bit of statement analysis
yeah.
and something rotten in the state of Denmark about this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I hate to say it, but sometimes it's the people closest to you that do you the most wrong, and because they know you more than anyone else. So, if anyone, I mean, like if anyone knows what he had and where he had it, then they've got to be worth questioning. It's got to be worth questioning. But really, that's about it. I wish him all well in the future, and hope that such things don't happen again. But if you don't want people to talk about things, don't put them out there. Because why else would you do that?
Yeah, to be continued. I mean, there is a way. There's ways and means of kind of expressing this, but there are some social media users out there. They do go all in, don't they, with how they express themselves? It's a little bit much at times.
Yeah, I know that is a bit much. But anyway, let's crack on with what's going on in the world, and I've left this up here because Starmer's still ploughing along the dystopian route, isn't he? And the name of this show is Menai Bridge About to Fall, because old Charlie's not looking good, and there's been a few tweets today about people asking to be prepared to step up into certain roles. Like Kate, you better get your shit together because you might be the queen soon, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I don't know how accurate those tweets are or not, but when you actually see Charles, when you see the pictures of him when he's been out there, he isn't looking good. He isn't looking good at all.
Old sausage fingers. He's definitely not going to outlive his mum. That's for sure. No. Does he? What's he suffering from? Does he have gout?
The fingers all swelling up like that. But I'm not sure. I would have thought
some form of arthritis,
something like congestive heart failure, where all his extremities have got edema and they're swelling up, because it does look as if he's like retaining water or something like that. But then again, you would think, they would treat that. But having said that, if he's I mean, we don't actually know what kind of cancer he's got either, do we? Because he's on treatment for that. So we've no idea where he's going. So I think he's going to go downhill. I think that's the problem. Just one of these things.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to something happier.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, John. I forgot to say that haircut for Starmer. That Kim Jong Un haircut. That suits him, mate. That actually
it does, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Yeah.
I don't know who made that. I don't even know if it might have been Ed. I'm not sure, but it definitely does. It definitely does.
There it is. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Think before you post. Yeah. Ingsoc. It'd been better to put Ingsoc there or something.
Yeah.
It does suit him. Nice fashy haircut.
Yeah, he wears it well.
Yeah.
And he is a communist. I mean, he's always been a communist. So.
Yeah. There was that whole thing that came out about with the what was that thing that came out about him in Czechoslovakia?
Yeah, because he was a communist. So he went to.
Right.
I think he went to. Was it Yugoslavia or Czechoslovakia when they were a communist country? Yeah, he went there when he was a communist to do some kind of volunteering or something.
Like volunteering, is that all verified? Like he actually he did go there.
Oh yeah, yeah, he did go there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they drag up all this crap like about Jeremy Corbyn being a Czechoslovakian spy or something like that. Do you remember that?
Yeah. But Starmer definitely he's in all sorts of weird societies when he was younger, and he founded some kind of communist organization, and then he kind of moved away from it, and then he moved on to the Fabian Society and all this kind of thing. So, there's no doubt about it. He's a communist. Ben would have told you more. I really haven't paid that much attention to him because I can't stand the man, and it seems to be that nobody can, because even the rest of the world don't seem to like him anymore.
Ask his missus. Wonder if she can stand him. My father was a toolmaker. No, your old man wasn't a toolmaker. He owned the damn factory.
Yeah.
He owned and ran the damn factory.
I know.
God.
It's the best. It's like he's obviously been told now not to say it, because you can see him wanting to say it, but he just steers away from it now.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Tony was saying he's an insufferable like mummy's boy. Yeah, I agree, Tony.
Oh yes,
He does sound like a bit like that, all right. He might as well put on like a Judge Dredd mask, or like the Judge Dredd helmet, and say, "I am the law."
I am the law.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just and the thing is, he's not convincing, because it's like it would be like getting savaged by a sheep. I mean, he's as wet as a week in Scotland.
And that's saying something.
Yeah, been pretty wet up here. I don't know what it's like down your way, but been pretty damn wet up here.
Yeah, Scotland, all the seasons in a day.
Yeah. Sometimes all 6 of them. Anyway, moving on. Right. Here's a cracker. SNP ministers had to block staff comments on Holocaust Memorial Day on their internal website over fears that the staff, the civil servants, would be making discriminatory comments. So bosses were worried civil servants might make inappropriate, discriminatory, or offensive remarks likely to result in distress and alarm because of the ongoing conflict in Israel and Gaza. Now, if you cannot trust your civil servants to behave on an intranet, why are they even running the country? Why are these people still on a job? This is grown-up world. This isn't schoolroom politics, is it? Or maybe it is schoolroom politics. Maybe the SNP. In fact, why have we even got a devolved parliament? Because it really seems to be a waste of time, money, and effort. And everything they touch just turns to shit. It really does.
Yeah, well, they're going after Esther McVeigh right now about her previous comments on Twitter. X. Did you see that?
No, what were they saying?
No, it was in relation to the Holocaust. You know that one. First they came for, and then they came for,
right.
and then they came for me. People have been kicking off about that over the last couple of days. Yeah, in relation to the smoking ban.
All right. Yeah.
Something which the Tories themselves proposed. Rishi Sunak proposed that.
Yeah. I mean, government's government. It doesn't matter who's actually at the head of it, because the aims of government are effectively all the same, aren't they? Control the population and fill their own nest. Yeah.
Yeah, uniparty. 2 cheeks, same arse.
Indeed. Right, where are we? Oh yeah, let's move on to the next item on the agenda. So this was earlier on in the week, and I have to. I think it was last Friday, but I have to say I called this out way back in, I think it was October last year. I said, wouldn't it really be an upset if RFK Jr. and Donald Trump ran together, as independents and made their own ticket? Now they haven't quite gone that far, but when Robert F. Kennedy endorses Trump, I think I'm taking that as a win. I pretty much called that. So
Smackdown, yeah.
His family don't like it though. His family don't like it at all, do they?
No.
But the thing that gets me is Trump was a Democrat. You know, Trump didn't start off as a Republican. He started off as a Democrat. And I think it's like a lot of people. People haven't left the Democratic Party or the Labour Party. Those parties have left the left. You know, it sounds crazy, but they've actually left the left, and they've become more right wing than the Tories, or certainly more authoritarian.
Well, that's certainly the way that I would see it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with Keir Starmer, with two-tier Keir.
Yeah,
it seems pretty bloody, authoritarian, and dare I say, along the realms of or the lines of extreme right wing, maybe. It's definitely right of centre, mate.
Yeah, I know. This whole calling people far right, far left, whatever. I mean, the whole thing's crazy because how do they even define it? You know, I mean, just because someone wants to speak out against the government, isn't that how we've gone through life always? You know, you're entitled to moan about things you don't like. And surely you're entitled, and this is the part that gets me. People always used to say, if you don't vote, you're not entitled to say anything about it. Well, that's not the case, because not voting, I think, is a valid choice, especially when you don't have an actual choice. So not voting tells them something. But I think I think there's a lot needs changed in the system we have just now, and it's not really democracy. It's mob rule. And they just kind of, and in fact, it's not even mob rule, is it, David? It's minority rule, because the minority elect the people that are in charge, and they're not actually representing anyone.
It's petty, it's petulant politics. You know, you see, all of the labels, all of these buzzwords. It's just smearing pejoratives. Like I said, it's really petulant, and it's people should check out that book. It's a couple of decades old now. You probably heard of that guy, John. His name is Saul Alinsky. These are real kind of like Saul Alinsky tactics, where you throw shit at your opponents.
Yeah.
You just run. Basically, that's what we've been seeing for quite a long time now. It's just sling it and run. We've seen this over the past couple of years as well. It's like, what you oppose vaccine passports. Sorry, John. You are you are an what, like, you know what I mean, and that's just transformed itself over the years, really, to what we're seeing today.
Yeah. And then there's always the people. Well, if you have nothing to hide, you've no fear of you've no fear.
Old chestnut.
Yeah, if you have nothing to hide, why would you be worried about having to carry an ID card? You need to provide ID to vote now. So it's sensible for you to carry an ID card to prove who you are. Well, really, is it? Because that's where everybody seems to be going, and we're going back towards this national ID thing, aren't we? And I'm pretty sure two-tier Keir will start trying to slip that in again.
It's interesting, yeah. We do seem to be slipping back into this kind of Blair Blunkett kind of New Labour era. That was early 2000s. So you're looking at like 2001, 2002, 2003 is when they really kind of started to push the ID Act back then, and I think it was scrapped by the Conservative Lib Dems in 2011. But yeah, things have been going a bit retrograde. But the way I've been observing it is that you have ID verification technology providers like Yoti, who are basically lobbying the government, saying you don't need a state ID. It's just like, let's just we'll get our foot in with all the contracts. We'll do the age verification. Like the way I've been posting this on X has been, it's all about popularizing, normalizing the use of this as well, to the point that you'll get uptake by a lot of businesses, and then the businesses come on board and they kind of go, oh yeah, we want to protect you from fraud, so we're going to request that you use Lloyd's digital identity. You use Yoti or all of these other forms that we have. It's really easy. It's really convenient. It's really efficient, and that is the way it's been nudged in from the back door. And I believe that that's further conditioning towards a point where the government will they'll take a step back, look at it, and kind of go, well, actually, we can do one step better than that. We can take care of all of this, and we could just branch all of that, umbrella that under a form of state-issued national identity. It could be physical, or it could be digital. And people shouldn't forget also that we have the gov.uk app is being rapidly developed, and we've got the one login system as well. So we have all of this stuff
Yeah.
coming down the pipe. But state issued national identity, I think Keir Starmer and Labour, they kind of get it that we don't want that. But I think with the popularizing and the populating of the age verification aspect, that is how they're kind of like leaning in. And I think the long game over the next, say, 5 to 10 years is to kind of maybe give it another 5 years or another decade,
Yeah.
and then kind of make that blanket push again. But the likes of like Tony Blair and his Global Institute for Change, they want to see this come down the pipe like a lot quicker,
Oh
like
yeah.
possibly like
Yeah.
within the next 3, 4, like 5 years. And
Yeah,
then
because Europe.
whilst all that's going on, you've got the NHS app as well,
Yeah.
which they've got over 50% of the population has downloaded that, but they're not stopping there. Like their super objective is that as many people as possible out of the some 67 million people in the United Kingdom like are using that. That's really the direction things are going.
Yeah. Yeah, and Europe's quite a bit further along the line as well, because effectively they've got digital ID, especially if you're an alien in Europe. If, like for instance, when I went to France, if you wanted to stay in France, you had to sign up for a residency card, and you had to give your fingerprints over, and that's why a lot of the immigrants that are there waiting to cross the channel are living in tent cities and things, because they won't sign up for they call it giving their fingerprints. They won't give up their fingerprints to the French, which means they won't get any benefits. And apart from that, I think you've got to be in France for 2 years before you're entitled to any benefits. So you've really got to look after yourself for 2 years. And these guys are just desperate to get across the channel, because they just know that Britain's too generous, and that's basically it. We've sent out a message far and wide that come to us and we'll look after you, and that message has got out, and people believe it because it's basically true.
Yeah, I remember being on a visit to Poland a couple of years ago, and they've got really good infrastructure over there, mostly funded by the European Union, of course. Since the 90s, and I booked a ticket using an app. Okay, so if you pay for the ticket in cash or by debit or credit card at one of the train stations, you go on the journey.
Yeah.
They will not request the ticket inspector will not request to see a form of ID. Okay, but if you book it through one of their web-based or mobile phone-based applications,
Yeah.
in order to protect you from fraud, they will request a form of ID, photographic
Right.
identification.
Okay.
I remember getting caught out by that like a couple of times and getting really, really pissed off, because we're not used to going through that, in the UK, and certainly not in Ireland.
Papers,
Where I'm
please. Papers.
Yeah, I remember kind of like I gave like the lady, she scanned the QR, and then she stood there for another like 20 or 30 seconds looking at me. I thought everything was fine,
Yeah.
and then she just said passport.
Papers.
I'm looking at her like
What?
like what? Yes, like tak passport. Bloody hell! So, that is the situation in like Central Europe, Eastern Europe, like
Yeah.
Southern Europe. It's just like you whip out your form of state identity, and it's quite shocking. I don't want it to get to that point in certainly not in the UK or Ireland.
Yeah,
But
I know. I think it will come, though. I think it will come. I really do.
they're pushing it.
They are pushing it, and eventually it'll come. And because I think the problem is you got a kind of. I don't know if you've ever looked into like the fourth turning, and what's her name? Was it Strauss and Howell? The historian guys, they go into all the different generations, and how each generation begets a different. The kids have a different outlook on life. Like Gen X were called the nomads because basically the generation that had the Gen Xers just left them to it, and they had to find their own way. And then the next generation after the Gen Xers were the millennials, and because the Gen Xers had been left to do things on their Todd, the millennials get over cosseted and then become entitled and expect their parents and people to do everything for them. But the millennials is supposed to be what's called a hero generation. They're the ones that are supposed to be fixing problems, because we're now in, and it seems to be right, because these guys went back to the 1400s, and every 20 or 30 years, these four different aspects just keep repeating. And the millennials are supposed to be the ones that cure all the problems. So we're in a crisis situation, a crisis period just now, and the millennials are supposed to be a hero generation that come forward and fix the problems.
It's not enough stepping up.
It's not enough stepping up, is it?
No, there's not enough stepping up. I'm just having a quick look at the chat room. Yes, Amy, they want us all in the same digital system. Shalini said, keep using cash. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And it's like, they did push that over the pandemic, not to use cash, because, it can transmit germs on cash, can't you?
It could transmit the you-know-what.
Yeah.
The you-know-what, yeah.
Right, yeah, beats and tapes. I had an ID when he was 18, but was never asked for it. Yeah, I had an ID when I was like 17 or something like that, because we used to go to the pub, and I never got asked for it either. And I remember my mate was 18 and I was 17, and I went up and got the beers in, and I came back to the table, and I put the beers down, and the barman came over. He came over and he's going, I'd have asked you for ID if I'd known you were buying a beer for him. Because I had hair down to here. I had long black hair down to here and a big moustache. I looked like a fucking Mexican gangster.
Yeah, mate, I've seen a couple of old pictures of you. You had some proper handlebars on you, didn't you? Like back in the day, biking in your like double denims and shit.
Yeah, yeah. Right. Well, it's amazing the difference a week can make as well. Look at this. Right. So at the beginning of the week, we've got. There's my mouse gone. Good God. I need a producer. Yes, I know I need a producer.
You need a producer, John.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Where's Adam? Adam's supposed to be here tonight.
I know. But he can't make it for 9 o'clock because he has to do his chores or he'll be punished.
Say no more.
So, Pope Francis declares spread of Mpox a global health emergency as Africa is finally set to receive the first batch of vaccines, right? So that was only the 25th of August, okay? And then on the what date's this? This is like 3 days later. The head of the WHO, backtracking, has declared on the advice of experts that monkeypox is not now a global health emergency.
Is that official? Has he done the whole beep beep?
Yeah,
like wound back with it? It's happened, yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't been paying attention, but yeah, it's completely fallen off the edge of the cliff.
Oh yeah, I mean nobody believes that at all. It's all gone downhill.
I think when, especially when that whole thing cropped up with Durov and
well,
Telegram as well, that just like blew everything out of the water, didn't it, with Mpox?
Yeah, it did. I've got some stuff about him. Well, I've got a slide about him. We'll move on to this one quickly. This is Dom Le Cray, breaker of narratives. This guy's a scream.
That guy.
But
that guy.
See,
Ben loves him.
Oh, Ben I know. He is. He's funny though. He is funny.
Don't you, Ben? You listening, Ben?
No, I think he's out.
Happy birthday, by the way, Ben.
I think
Benny?
I think he's out with the family tonight. What was I going to say? This is the one where the cop shoots the dog. So
Oh, I saw this.
So I'm not
that,
playing the video because that's quite distressing. Because
it is distressing.
you know,
Yeah, gosh, don't play it. Yeah.
But why was the dog let? I mean, the dog was actually back in the house near enough. Why did they not control the dog and put it in the house? Why did they let it run at the cop? You know,
Especially with armed cops in the States as well.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like there's so many reports. It's like littered. These stories are littered, like weekly, like monthly. Cop shoots dog. Like in America, it's like, come on, people.
Yeah.
But it's tragic seeing those sorts of videos. It's not nice. It's really really upsetting. Poor animal as well, and the family gets distressed and like all of that. But yeah, I see what you mean, John. It's like just like stick your dog on a leash.
Well, that's that. Control it. You know, if your dog's going to run at people, even if it's not a cop, it doesn't matter. Why not control the dog? You know. I mean, I've got dogs, and I mean, my little dog, this Strudel, is a real pain in the butt. It's always jumping on people. So whenever I'm out on a walk or whatever, not that I walk it that often now, but if I'm out walking, it's off the lead, and she's really good off the lead, but I'll call her back and hold her while people walk by because she's so friendly. She would run up to them and jump on them, and most people, especially if they're out walking with their dogs, they don't bother about things like that. But that's not the point. You know, the point is the one time you'll get someone who's frightened the dogs, and you know, just take some responsibility. And why don't people do that? Why people are always blaming other people? They won't take responsibility for their own actions. That's what annoys me.
Yeah, I've seen some nasty situations, and closer to home, involving the Metropolitan Police.
Oh yeah, I remember
over
that
the
one
years
down the
as well.
canal. Remember the one down the canal when there was like
I remember that, but even like years before that, there was a clip of I think it was a Rottie or a bully like type dog, who just kept on jumping up at this like officer and like taking chunks out of his arm, and the officer was screaming in agony for like about the best part of like 5 to 10 minutes before armed officers came and had to like neutralize the like the animals. So it does happen in the UK as well, and it's a difficult one for the Met to control too. Being unarmed, they got to get in like the armed guys to take care of it, but that can take time, can't it?
Yeah, I once went to I was in the office once having my lunch, and this is when I worked in Cowannon. The back door goes. Cowannon was a weird place because the police station was like a shop front, you know, just like a 2-room shop. So you had the front room, which was reception, and the back room was just our locker room and where we had our dinner. So I'm sitting having my dinner, and the back door goes because everybody knew what door the police station was, so they would knock on the back door because they knew if there was cops in, they'd answer the back door. Whereas if they knocked on the front door, if the receptionist had gone home, nobody would answer the front door. So they always come round and just chap the back door. Anyway, I opened the door, and this wee woman standing there. She goes, "I can't get into my house, son." And I goes, "What's up?" She goes, "There's a big Alsatian on the path, and it won't let me into my house." And I said, "How come?"
Bloody good security dog.
Yeah, well,
bloody good security dog.
She goes, "Why?" I goes, "Why won't it let you in the house?" And she goes, "Because the dog downstairs, you know, she's staying in a floor in the block. So she goes, the dog downstairs is on heat, and I think it's looking for it." And I goes, "All right, okay. I tell you what." I says, "I'm just finishing my sandwich. You go down to your house, and I'll come round in the van and see what I can do." So it comes round in the van, and she's in her house, you know, and she sees the van pulling up, and I jumps out of the van, and the dog's there on the path, and it looks all right, you know. I thought, that's okay. I mean, it looks all right. She goes, "It's all right, son. I got in. She says, "But the dog won't go away." And I goes, "Do you know whose dog it is?" And she goes, "No, I don't." And it was when I call her, and I thought, well, we'll see if we can find out whose dog it is and maybe even take it back. You know? So I walks up, puts my hand on the gate. As soon as I put my hand on the gate, the fucking dog just launched itself down this path at me, right? And I'm like, whoa, backtracking, because, you know, nothing looked aggressive until I put my hand on the gate, and then it just went nuts. And it didn't live there, you know, so it wasn't guarding its property, but what it was doing was guarding the bitch that it was looking for. And and for YouTube purposes, a bitch is a dog. It's a female dog. It's the proper name for it. So anyway, it comes flying down the path at me, and I'm backing off. And you know, as I'm coming down the stairs, the thing's just about at me, and I just poked my foot out and caught it in the tip of the jaw with my steel toe cap at that point, and and it backed off. And I thought, right, okay, and it went away. And I says, if you get any more hassle, give us a shout, because it ran off. And I thought, well, that's seen it off. So,
were you ever involved in a situation where you to do something like, you know, armed, the armed Met Police or the armed copper in the States? Did you ever have to partake in that?
I'll tell you, no, not well, armed police. I was an armed cop. I was.
You were. But did you ever have to like take out a dog?
No,
like
no.
You did.
I can tell you a few stories about dogs.
Okay, all right, okay.
One of them's a horror story almost. So anyway, right. I goes back to the office, and the phone goes about, you know, an hour later, and she's going, looks on, the dog's back, and you know, my family's come up to see me, and they're sitting in the car, and I goes, right, I'll come back down. I come back down, and I thought, well, I says, I'm thinking to myself, I knew what this dog was like the last time. So it goes through into the back of the Sherpa and takes out something, and puts it behind my back, and it walks up the path, and the dog's still there. And it starts running at me, and this time I was ready for it. And as it approached me, I just brought the shovel round and went bang, and clattered it off its legs.
Oh dear.
So that sent it away, and it didn't come back after that. So that dealt with that.
Are we losing people? Is the troll room okay? Tony says, my bro Staffy is as soft as...
Yeah.
Wants to play with everyone and everything. Yeah, Staffies are lovely. Yeah, I'm a dog lover.
Oh yeah, I mean, I
like cats, but I love dogs more.
We
definitely a dog person.
We've got two dogs. One's a Sprudel, and the other one's a lunatic.
Sprudel?
Yeah.
A Springer Spaniel and a Poodle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, and that's complete
nice
nuts. That is complete nuts. You know, it's so intelligent though. So intelligent. The other one's a Labradoodle. Is a Labradoodle. So it's a Labradoodle crossed with a Labrador. So it's like
Labradoodle crossed with a Labrador.
Yeah. Big.
Wow.
It's too big. But it thinks it's a cat, because my wife caught it on top of the dining room table the other day. It just decided to jump up on the table. And she's like, I mean, this thing's only like, I don't know, what, 9 months old or something. And she's standing on top of the table. And at that point, it's taller than she.
Was your wife baking something delicious at the time?
No, she doesn't bake in the house. But the dog just decided to jump up on the table. It's a lunatic. So we had there was a call once, and there was a dog. Dog had been injured, been struck by a car, and had crawled into a school playground. And it was on the grass in the playing fields. The school was in session. It was a secondary school, and a couple of the guys had gone up to it, and the dog was in obvious agony. Right, you know, the dog it was quite severely injured, and they were shouting for a vet. You know, they're on the radio looking for a vet. And the control room's having difficulty getting a vet that's going to come out for them. And, you know, the dog is in excruciating agony. And one of the guys goes, he couldn't take it any longer, and he took out his baton and he dispatched it. Okay. And that's a hard thing to do, you know. But after he'd finished, he looked up, and there's a whole class of kids standing at the window watching him.
It's like something out of a bad comedy sketch, isn't it? It's like, no.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that would make the papers. But you know, you're stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea there, aren't you?
Yeah, something's got to give.
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
Yes, let's move on. Sorry.
Don't want to lose the troll room. Don't want to like traumatize them.
Oh no, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They're used to these things. A once-in-a-generation opportunity to reset Britain's relationship with Europe so as we can deliver for the British people. What is Starmer up to? Is he trying to get us back into Europe by the back door?
I would say so.
Yeah.
As you know,
Yeah.
gov.uk, they are super coy. They are very, very coy in most things that they do. So, yeah, I would imagine that is the case, John.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he is. I think he's going to try and slip us back in.
What
And
is it? Is it visa-free travel for under 30s, 30 and under? That's on the cards, isn't it?
is it? Is it? I mean,
I think so. That's
and
what they're
and
they're looking at.
that'll be the wedge, won't it? And then it'll be,
Yes.
then it'll be, if you're under 30, you can come and work here, and then if you're under 30, or if you're maybe 35, you can come visa free, and then it'll just get bigger and bigger until you're back to basically where we were before.
Well, the UK have been completely detached in some respects. There's the whole thing regarding military union, like as well. There's still a lot of connection to European Union nations over military pacts and treaties and things like that as well, and they're still holding. So
well, they are just now, but NATO's looking really ropey the way things are going at the moment, because especially with Turkey. Because Turkey's really. I mean, Turkey's what, the biggest standing army in Europe.
What's their? How many? What have they got in active service and reserves off the top of your head?
Something like 400,000 or something like that. It's way bigger than anyone else in Europe. Way big. I mean, I think Germany's about 160,000, which is about double what we've got. I think.
Double the UK, correct? Yeah.
So. Turkey's got a massive standing army, and the equipment to go with it, and are leaning towards BRICS now.
Yeah,
so I think,
you were mentioning that with Ed. Yeah, I remember hearing that. Yeah,
so I think
like Turkey, they've always kind of held that joker position, kind of, haven't they? With Erdogan, like they're kind of unpredictable in the direction that they may go. Yeah. They're definitely going to be ones to watch. Yeah, I agree. Like the fate of NATO depends on them, eh?
I think so, and I think I mean, even countries like France aren't keen on NATO either, because it costs too much. They don't want to spend 3.2% of their economy on defence.
Should have gave it up years ago, mate.
Yeah.
They should have given it up like years ago. It was meant for one thing and one thing only. And when they had the what was it, the 1991 agreements, where they agreed not to expand past the River Elbe, I think it was. That's when they should have just given up the ghost on NATO, but no.
And then
they didn't want to.
Then effectively
further expansion.
Then they became an offensive force rather than defensive. I mean, there was no need for NATO really to go into Bosnia and Herzegovina. They made a mess there, They made a mess in Iraq. I mean, we just shouldn't be doing it,
Labour government, just saying.
Well, that was a Labour government, but you can't blame the Labour government for the support that's been, thrown at that country just slightly to the west of Russia.
I hear you.
Right. Anyway, moving on. So people are making a big deal about this, which is Warren Buffett has sold another 981 million shares of the Bank of America. Buffett now holds $278 billion in cash and selling stocks like never before, including Apple. Well, that's not quite strictly speaking true, is it? Because Warren Buffett does this every autumn. He sells down stuff that he knows is going to go down before the new year, and then it's going to bounce back. So come January, he'll be buying all this stock back up. He does this.
Apple again.
Yeah, he does this every year. He does it all the time. So I mean, it's
What's
a pattern.
That he's got in cash. How much does he have in cash?
Oh, $278 billion. That's Berkshire
Nice chunk of
Hathaway,
change.
yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, in cash.
But what
Mm.
does he do with what do you do with that kind of money, you know?
Yeah, more money than sense.
I know, definitely.
It's unbelievable. But yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, just because he was dumping Apple like the blazers over the past couple of weeks doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be this
Yeah,
impending
crash,
kind of
boom.
financial like implosion or subprime kind of crash that we saw in 2008 and 2009. But one thing that we could agree on, John, is that we're still kicking the can down the road. It's coming. It's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, I think well
Collapsing on itself.
I think it will, and I don't think well, I think the big problem's America and whether they decide that they're going to accept it or not, because when you've got countries like you've even got countries now like Saudi Arabia that are prepared to sell oil and yen, rather or yuan or
Yeah,
whatever they
yeah.
call it now. Used to call it yen in my day, but now they call it yuan or something. But
What? No, yuan is
Chinese,
yeah, yuan is Chinese renminbi as well.
yeah. So
Renminbi,
RMB and
but yen
yuan.
is Japanese, isn't it? You get
Yeah,
Japanese
yeah.
yen.
You used to have a
Yeah, yeah.
Chinese yen as well, I think.
Oh, really?
I thought so.
Ah, okay. Hmm.
I might be wrong. I mean, I know
But you're right.
when I lived
Mm.
in Hong Kong, we had dollars, and I don't know if Hong Kong still works in dollars. Not American
I would have.
dollars. They had Hong Kong dollars, and
Quite a bit of East Asia does. I think I would imagine if Hong Kong do, I know, say for example, South Korea would. South Korea
yeah, but
won
they're kind of
USDs.
they're all working in American dollars. Hong Kong was working in Hong Kong dollars, completely
Hong Kong
separate.
dollars, right? Gotcha,
Yeah, completely different.
gotcha.
Like say for instance, like 100 Hong Kong dollars was worth about £8 when I was there. Yeah,
Whew.
yeah.
Mm.
But anyway, where were we? What were we talking
Warren
about then?
Buffett.
Yeah,
Buffett.
Buffett. I was talking about America and whether they're going to accept their new position in the world, which isn't as world leader, because I firmly believe, and I've said this for the last 2 years, that China's on the ascendancy, and I know that economically China's not doing great either, and people don't understand that China's a really strange country, to deal with, because economically we are putting so much money into it because they make everything for us, but internally they still struggle. I mean, a lot of their infrastructure is poor, even though the stuff that they showcase to us looks great. Like their high speed trains and stuff like that. But when you listen to people that have actually been on them and realise that they break down quite often, that they can be quite scary at times. China's not everything it's cracked up to be. Their showcase cities are, but once you get out of that, it's still a very rural, backward country that doesn't.
Very old. It's all glitz and glamour. That's
It
what you're
is,
saying.
yeah.
Kind of in Shenzhen and
Yeah.
Beijing, and there's a lot of glitz and glam for the tourists. But then you're also saying there's a heck of a lot of like poverty as well
There is,
on the
yeah.
outskirts, the suburbs, and
Yeah.
some things haven't changed. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. And what they've got is they have, I mean, and you've got to give Xi his credit here. He's a typical not Fu Manchu, Confucius type character,
Whoa, steady on, John.
he's a Confucius type character, he seems to be very steady and calculating and methodical, but he's really ruthless. See, when you dig into his history and where he came from.
A lot of classical dictators
Yeah.
they're all
yeah.
very kind of like
Yeah.
cool, calm,
Yeah.
on the exterior, but absolutely ruthless, black-hearted bastards.
Yeah. Like, I mean, one of our friends in in the former Soviet Union. You know, his some of his people keep falling out of hospital windows and things like that, don't they? Yeah. So, yeah. So I think with China's Belt and Road and I mean, it goes into Africa, and instead of it's a very devious way they do it though, because the Americans will go in and they're quite blatant. You know, they're effectively taking what they can and saying, you know, this is ours now. Whereas when China goes in, they come in and go, we'll do this for you, we'll help you, you know, we'll help you build a dam or we'll build a railroad or whatever.
Of course, yeah.
But they bring in Chinese people to run it and to manage it, and they'll use local labour where it suits them. And you end up effectively, you might have a railroad, but you owe China, you know, one day I will come to you and I will ask for a favour. You know.
Yeah, it's kind of like an indirect way of like planting a nation, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it
like
is.
it's indirect colonization, isn't it? It's like, okay,
It
we're
is.
going to help you rebuild your country, or like we're going to help you with the infrastructure here. You know, we're gonna cut you a great deal, but you know, it's our people, and then it's like you really got to read the T's and C's. You know.
I was digging into Saudi Arabia the other day, and this is a bit of an aside, but Saudi Arabia is a strange country as well, because they've traditionally been very oil rich, but people aren't buying as much oil as they used to, especially America. America's not buying a lot of Saudi oil now, and they're selling it to other people. And that's one of the reasons that America is starting to lose the dollar as the currency of choice in the East, because Saudi Arabia will sell oil now in, you know, yen or
Multiple currencies. Well, they've
RMB
kind of
or whatever.
sidestepped the US dollar. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And previous to that, you had to do business with America because you could only buy oil in dollars. So if you couldn't get dollars, you couldn't buy oil. So you always had to do business with America. But that's gone by the wayside now. I was astounded to find out that Riyadh, you know, Saudi Arabia's capital city, doesn't have a sewage system. They don't have a sewage system.
Say what?
They all have
Fundamental basic of infrastructure.
They either
for
have
sanitation.
They have a pit that somebody needs to come and suck out every month or so. There is no sewage system in Riyadh. There's no bus service. There's no public transport. The place is, it looks like, you know, a modern city, but infrastructure-wise, it's got almost nothing. It's incredible.
Have you been there, John?
No, I haven't.
I've been there. I've been there in a former career. I've been there twice. I've been to Jeddah. So that's considered one of the most liberal areas of Saudi Arabia. Flew into Jeddah because that's very close to Mecca. So you get a lot of the pilgrims coming in for Hajj through that route. Okay. Traveled to Riyadh as well, and then to another place called Dammam or Dahran.
Yeah.
Up in the further side of the country, and Didn't
the British have a base there during the first Gulf War?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a very strange country. I mean, one of the top tourist sites in Riyadh when I was there is a place called Justice Square, or it's nicknamed Chop Chop Square. I'm sure the troll room and you will understand what I mean by that.
Yeah.
It's one of the top 10 tourist attractions in that area. I think the only good thing about like Riyadh was that you've got like Taco Bell and you've got all of the big American brands and kind of chains and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
But it does get a bit annoying when, you know, during kind of like prayer time, 5 times a day, it takes, I think it's about 30 to 40 minutes before prayer, they slowly close down, and then kind of prayer happens and then they slowly open back up, and this happens like 5 times a day. So
how did they get anything done?
This is the thing. Yeah.
Spencer makes a very poignant observation. Taco Bell and no sewage system. My God.
E- Exactly. Yeah, good one, Spencer. Yeah, yeah. They had all the big brands. Yeah,
Yeah. Right. Let's shall we move on? We'll
yeah.
get away from Saudi. Oh well,
Yeah, wait.
actually, this is quite apt. I couldn't have set this up better if I'd tried.
UAE, is it?
Experts shock at sewage works near super hospital and claims it's still a risk. Okay, so a water safety expert says he was shocked to learn Scotland's super hospital has been built next to a sewage plant. Right, hold on. Now, I don't know where these guys have been living for the last, 30 or 40 years, because the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital, which is Glasgow's biggest, or Scotland's biggest hospital now, was built on the site of the old Southern General. And the old Southern General was there. It was there. It's been there since I don't know when, but it's been there since at least the 60s or 70s. And the sewage plant has always been next door to it. You know, there's the River Clyde, and then there's Shield Hall Sewage Works, there's a road, and then there's the hospital. And that's it. And it's been like that since day one. So why are they now suddenly claiming that there's a risk from the airborne bacteria that might be blowing into the hospital? Really? Well, what happened over the last 40 or 50 years? Or in fact, maybe even longer, 60 years?
Airborne bacteria. I think I'd be bloody well more concerned about like MRSA, like MRSA, or
Oh,
some superbug like that inside the hospital.
Yeah,
You
I know.
Never mind sewage.
I know.
MRSA is probably a bigger bloody like
It probably
risk
is.
to you, you know. Yeah.
But yeah, so and certainly you always, I mean, as a local, you knew when not to go past Shield Hall Sewage Works, because they would unleash the sludge at 4 o'clock every day, right? So you never went near it at 4 o'clock because the smell was horrific.
I'll clear your lungs out, Manny.
Yeah. What do you reckon about this one? This is quite good. It's obviously in
I
America.
saw that.
Police
I saw
Force's
that.
first ever black female superintendent is demoted over cheating scheme to help fellow minority cops get promoted.
Careful what you say, Porter. Careful what you say.
DEI. DEI is a disaster, isn't it?
Don't
really
be
is.
offensive, John.
I'm not being offensive. I'm just saying.
No, I'm joking. I'm
yeah,
joking.
but DEI is just a complete and utter disaster. Now here's a good one. Here's a good one. This is back to where you were about Durov, and the UAE actually did something good for a change here, because they put some pressure on Macron to get. I mean, the whole Durov thing was a bit weird, wasn't it? You know, I'm here for dinner with Macron. Oh no, you're under arrest as a terrorist. What?
Is that official? Like,
well, it seems to be
credible, verified sources that he was lured to France for like a presidential dinner. Right?
It seems to be. It seems to be the strong rumor, shall we say? It's probably one of these. It's one of these things that we'll never actually know, but you know, I wouldn't surprise me, because
nothing got to do with the crypto babe he was with either, who could have been acting as some sort of like honeypot kind of double or triple agent or something like that. You know,
it's apparently Johnny Depp's going out with some 24-year-old Russian crypto babe.
You better watch out, man.
Yulia.
To France.
Yeah, Yulia. Yeah, so he's going out with some 24-year-old, and people are up in arms and about. But I mean, it's like, if you're 24, surely you're old enough to make up your own mind who you go out with. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I mean,
well, the thing that gets me, John, just to kind of edge in about the UAE, like a lot of people, you'll see kind of Candace Owens, you'll see some other kind of campaigners and commentators on social media and X, and they're saying, "Oh wow, looks like we better pack our bags and go to like UAE." No, UAE are not some sort of bastion of freedom of speech and expression.
No.
If you look back over the years, like throughout, sorry to say, like mainstream media, you're going to see a litany of stories about people like locked up on a whim in Dubai prisons. There was quite a controversial story that broke some weeks ago about an Irish lady who was working for Emirates Airline.
Oh yeah, I remember
She
that.
had
Yeah.
she had a very bad separation
Yeah.
with her South African, I think it was her boyfriend, but she ended up in the slammer. She had an absolute ordeal trying to get out of that country, and it was only when it was brought to the greater attention of the mainstream media and eventually the Irish government, who, due to pressure and exposure of this, intervened.
Yeah.
They got diplomatic on it. Only was she then allowed to leave the country. Charges were dropped. So my message to people would be: if you think UAE, Abu Dhabi, or Dubai, or Sharjah, like the main cities of like UAE, are again some bastions of freedom of speech and expression because they've got Durov's back as a UAE citizen, with a passport, and think again. They're not shiny, or all that glitters is not gold, is it,
No,
John?
no, definitely not. And let's face it, they've got Dural's back because he's a billionaire, you know. That's the only reason that they want him back out, because they want him spending money in their country.
5 billion on bail.
Yeah.
What was it? Sorry, was it? Sorry, not 5 billion. 5 million euro bail. Yeah, some chunk of change, eh? Pocket change
But
to Durov.
but Dubai doesn't have there's no extradition treaty with anyone.
There you go.
So
Mm.
you know what? If it was me, I'd say let's just write that 5 million off. You know what? Because why would you put yourself through it if you didn't have to? You know, because there's always a chance you're going to lose. You know, if you have to go back to court. So,
Well, how do you think it's going to play out with Durov, John? I mean, let's expand on this a bit.
okay,
Go for it.
right. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like I said, if it was me, I would just not go back. You know, I mean, he's got nothing going for him in France. One,
No.
he's Russian. He lives in, is it Dubai he lives in, or UAE? He lives in one of those countries.
Yeah. I'd say most of the time he's like
Yeah.
living in like UAE. He came from Azerbaijan with the crypto chick / possible like honeypot.
Yeah. So there's no advantage in him having anything to do with the EU, because if anything, the EU's been increasingly authoritarian on all forms of social media. I mean, they hate Musk, you know.
Of course.
What's his name? Zuckerberg's just come out and said he'd been pressured to censor. He was pressured to censor information about a certain thing that happened. You know.
You know what?
Yeah.
The hokey, you know what? Yeah.
So why would anyone have anything to do with the EU, and why would you give them the opportunity? That's just my personal view. You know, if I had that kind of money, I would just write that off. You know, tax expense or whatever.
Well, there's been a lot of warning signs. Like a lot of claxons coming from the EU and Thierry Breton.
Oh yeah.
And I think what happened to Durov, like, it's they really are baring their teeth now, and Musk he's not out of reach.
No,
He's not out of reach. And you also heard about the Chris Pavlovsky, the CEO of Rumble. Like within 24 hours of what happened to Durov, he was like, au revoir. Yeah.
No, I didn't. Tell me more.
Well, he left. He left France because he was like Rumble were threatened.
I missed that one.
And in the last couple of days, it was under 24 hours after the news broke about Pavel Durov.
Right.
If you check X, if you go to Chris Pavlovsky's posts, formerly known as tweets, he said something along the lines of, "I'm late to this, but just to let you know, I've left France, and France had threatened like Rumble, and he safely departed."
There isn't a safe.
Je suis départé.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't. Is there a safe country? Is there a safe country if you want to be able to speak freely?
The irony is, if Durov didn't have all the beef, if he didn't have beef with Russia and being like Russian citizen,
he
that's
should
probably one of the safest places that he could have went back to.
Yeah, I agree. And Russia's opened their doors to the West. They've opened their door to Westerners.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out with Durov. So yeah, €5 million bail.
Mhm.
But there still is a high chance he could be banged up for a couple of years at least. Like the French prosecutors thing that was a presser or press release that was released a couple of days ago said something about a minimum of 5 years in the slammer. They were originally saying 20 years, up to 20 years. Well, he could be facing like a couple of years. This is like a
Because he wouldn't give them
billionaire.
because he wouldn't give them access to encrypted.
Oh no,
Basically,
it's because he didn't have the appropriate certification, like to say, we are je suis encrypté,
oh
you know.
god.
Because
And
in France, John, you
oh
said this
yeah,
with Ed. You've got to have the paperwork.
oh yeah, France,
It is
France.
bureaucracy,
It's a
chérie.
bureaucratic nightmare, France. It really is.
Yeah.
So right, so Jesus Christ. That's
You do
just
not you
oh
do not have the paper. You are not certified for end-to-end encryption. Buff.
and to
I
go
don't care.
back yeah, to go back to your point earlier about the UAE not being, the bastion of free speech. Was it
You're not,
not
mate.
the UAE that brought down BlackBerry? Because
Was it?
yeah, I think it was around that because BlackBerry. Everybody used BlackBerry. Everybody had a BlackBerry, right?
Yeah, I remember it. BBM.
Yeah, and all the government officials and all the councils and the police, we all used BlackBerry, right? Because
the security was really good.
the security was bang on, right?
Yeah.
And nobody had access to the BlackBerry servers other than BlackBerry, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think it was the UAE or Saudi Arabia that demanded access through a back door into the BlackBerry server that was housed there. And eventually RIM caved. And after that, you just can't trust BlackBerry. So BlackBerry just disappeared.
I can go one better than that. Have you heard of that outlet called The Intercept? Have you heard of The
Yes.
Intercept?
Yes, I have.
Glenn Greenwald
Yeah.
used to
Aye.
write for quite a long time. There was a story there back in, I think it was sometime between 2013 and 2015. It's called The Great Sim Heist. I still think
Oh,
you can
yeah.
find it
Right.
online.
Yep.
It's called The Great Sim Heist, and it's a true story about how the NSA, aided by MI6 and GCHQ, broke into the international sim makers called Gemalto, right? And
Yeah. I remember that vaguely.
they
Yeah.
stole the master keys, right, to decrypt communications for any SIM-based device throughout the entire world, right? Yeah, they did that. So you can read about that story. I'll never forget that. That absolutely blew my mind. The master keys
Yeah.
for encryption and decryption of communications. If you have a SIM card in your mobile phone device, they broke into that facility and they got those keys.
Yeah.
A collaborative effort by some of the Five Eye Nations. Incredible.
Yeah, I'm going to look into
You
that.
triggered me with BlackBerry. I had to tell you about that.
Yeah, no, that I'm going to look into that because that's certainly worth looking.
Yeah,
looking at.
Yazzie says, I heard Belize is nice. Yeah, Yazzie, Belize is nice, but have you ever seen bot flies? You ever seen a bot fly extraction?
Jesus Christ, no! Don't go there! Don't go there! The horrors. I mean, that's like watching a horror movie, a bot fly extraction.
Whenever I see Belize, whenever someone mentions Belize, I just think bot flying, where they like do the extraction. That's probably the worst thing about Belize. Yeah, Robin. Yeah, you should check that out, mate. Robin says, "Yeah, wow, something new, David. Yeah, it's an incredible true story. You should check it out. It's crazy."
Yeah. Right. So Hamza, We haven't heard a lot from Hamza. Well, we
Hamza.
have. Yeah, we haven't heard a lot from Hamza because Hamza's retired, but well, he's on the back benches, but he's becoming a bit of a nuisance because he's still banging on about, he's still banging on about his support for certain terrorist organisations, and now he says the erasure of women goes against everything Islam stands for. Okay, I stand in solidarity with the women of Afghanistan. Now that's all very well, and the Guardian obviously have this fairly tame story about Taliban law banning women from speaking in public, right? And I make no comment on them doing that. But this is the country where a guy, a new father, just shot his newborn daughter because he wanted a son.
I saw that circulate. It's like, something, mate. X is just it is turned into an absolute.
Oh, you've broken up there. Oh, he's frozen. Is your internet all right? Is it me? Can you guys still hear me okay? David appears to... I don't know what's happened. Says he's got 55% battery left. He must be on his phone.
Hey?
I don't know what happened there, mate. Your connection kind of dropped.
Yeah. It's
You've
all right,
lost your audio now.
You got your VPN on?
Oh.
I don't know. Well, let me join.
Strange.
Oh, hold on a second. Here we go.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Can't hear you, David. David's gone.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
Right.
Hold on a second.
I think you're coming back.
All right.
Yeah, you're back with us. You're back with us.
Hey, sorry about that. I don't know what the hell happened. I've got a good pipe here.
Yeah.
Everything should be okay.
I don't know what happened. That was weird.
Apologies, folks. Apologies, troll room. Don't hate me.
No, they're used to these kind of things, mate. They're used to these kind of things.
Yeah, no, I've got a pretty solid here, so yeah, apologies.
Yeah, and this kind of thing that's happening in Afghanistan is the kind of thing that used to happen in China under the one-child policy as well. Because when you limit people, or when women become unuseful in society, then people go to extreme measures to make sure they have nothing but boys. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I was saying to you, I think just before I got interrupted you, I saw that story spinning around the interwebs on X about what you just mentioned.
Yeah,
it's horrific, and I was just saying that, like, yeah, bloody hell. I mean, X has turned into an absolute cesspit with that. It's like the algos seem to be kind of pushing a lot more of that like around. I'm just like, no, make it stop. My God.
and they show a lot more graphic stuff these days. I find that you never used to see. There's always somebody getting assaulted or something, and really, I don't need to see that. You can tell me about it, and I can choose to read it or not, but don't throw it in my face all the time. And the thing is, once you've seen it once, it keeps coming back at you. The thing keeps throwing the same story back at you time and time again. It's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, Musk is supposed to be making the source code open source next week. So it's still proprietary. It's still closed source, but he's supposed to be going open source with it next week. So he says. So that should be interesting. And he promises to try to boost lesser known accounts as well. Who aren't giving him $8 a month. So yeah. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, I used to give him $8 a month, but then I wasn't getting in.
It doesn't guarantee you reach, mate.
No, it
doesn't guarantee you reach. No, I think I did that for a month with SCP, and it was terrible. As terrible as the former incarnation of Twitter was, with Jack Dorsey and all of that nonsense that was going on, the reach was incredibly better.
Far better.
I'm having a Twitter bitch now, but it's I'm sorry, folks, but Musk has just made it so much worse. Like he really has.
He's turned it into an echo chamber because it's the same people all the time. You very, very rarely get new people in, and that's not to say that the people you're hearing from aren't people you want to hear from, but you want a bigger picture, and you don't get that anymore. You don't get it. I think X is becoming less and less useful as a resource. Although our roving, well, actually, X wasn't a resource here. Although he posted it on X, he told me about it personally. So our roving reporter Ben saw this in Eastbourne yesterday.
Oh yeah, I saw that flashing up on the feed. Yeah, what's going on here?
So apparently this electric Audi, it's always an Audi, right? The Audi's a new BMW. Your car, if you want to see a wanker driving a car, I guarantee it's an Audi. Anyway, so apparently this Audi took off on its own and came out the shopping centre car park and drove through a house. Just on its own. It just decided to go.
Like,
Used to get these reports of things. You remember Toyota Prius?
yeah,
There was an issue with them and braking or not braking, as the case may be, because you would get people pulling into petrol stations and things, and they would just drive right into the kiosk or right into the pumps and things like that. And people were saying, "Look, I had my foot in the brake, and the car just wasn't stopping. It just wouldn't stop. In fact, it accelerated." So yeah, these I'm not quite 100% sure on electrics.
yeah. There's been some stories. I think there was a story about this guy. I think he had a slump by about 40% in his company with electric car sales. I think.
Oh yeah, aye.
You probably yeah.
I
I'm
saw that.
just trying to kind of gather this. Yeah, it was a mainstream story and like kind of City AM and a couple of other broadsheets online. Yeah, he had a 40% plunge in sales, but that's the thing with electric cars is that secondhand dealers they're going to give you dick all for them. Like you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just it's hype, man. It's hype. So it's not worth it. Like I don't think there's going to be some electric car dream of the future, no matter how many Musk pumps out, of Tesla plants and how much China is in the market. I don't think they're going to dominate. That's my prediction, anyway.
No, I don't think they will either. I think something better will come along.
Like what?
Well, do I think hydrogen? Probably not.
If it could be safely contained
Eh,
without going
Well,
kablamo.
if you can crack it, in situ, which I think you can do because people have kind of done this, right? So basically, you drive about with a tank of water, and
Yeah.
you crack the water into oxygen and hydrogen and burn it.
Yes.
I mean, and if you can do that, it's a no-brainer because your waste is water. You're starting with water. You're expending energy, to split it into oxygen and hydrogen, but that energy can be self-sustaining once it's started. And then you get a waste product that's water. So it seems to be the best option. So either that or then you go for like a self-contained fuel cell type thing, like they use on space station and what are they called? Spaceships. But yeah, so yeah, fuel cells. Fuel cells are. I mean, we've been using fuel cells forever as well. I don't know why they're not used more often.
I think the thing is that when you have such amazing inventions such as hydrogen cars, even like a water powered car, these inventors tend to disappear.
They do.
And
They
there's a
do.
lot of suppression that is
Uh,
going on. It's been going on for a long time.
and of course, actually, what's his name? Who was it there? Ray said it will make the atmosphere around cities humid as hell. Well, the other problem, of course, if you're putting out all that water vapor, is water vapor's actually, and it actually is. It's a pretty potent greenhouse gas. Much more so than you would get from a fossil fuel burning car. Water vapor's going to cause you more problems than anything.
Tony says, as long as it's not a Boeing Starliner, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Boeing. E-fuels. Espresso says e-fuels are better.
I'm not convinced because you use a lot of farm.
Sustainable fuels, green fuels.
But are they sustainable? Because you're using a shitload of farmland to make them. So what you're using good quality farmland to grow a shit product that all you're doing is churning it up to use as a biomass to extract the oils and then feed the stuff to chickens or whatever. I'm not convinced I'm not convinced they are sustainable e-fuels. I don't like them, and they're not good for you. They don't work well because they're not very good at lubricating. So they're not a great thing to keep running your car on. If you're running like a low octane fuel like that, you should probably put a good fuel through it every 4 or 5 tankfuls.
Robin, spot on. Climate change, more plants. Put more plants in the ground. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Let's crack on.
What's next, John?
Let's crack on with some funnies. Let's start to get to the funnies. So, well, I say funnies, but this was a video. This is mental. So this Romanian woman's on TV. See the one on the right-hand side in pink, right? And I know it's a small picture, but there's a video here, but I'm not playing it because, as you know, I'm fed up getting copyright. But the woman in pink was on TV, and this woman on the left, who's in pink, that pink being her skin, right, attacked her with a brick. She runs on naked and throws a brick at the presenter. It's just absolutely mental. Yeah. It's all going off on Romanian TV.
Yeah, so what? So this...
I don't know why.
Naked woman just manages to get access to the studio and, bricks the presenter.
Yeah. Streaks across the studio floor with a brick. Well, she tried to brick her. She threw the brick at her and missed. She's a woman after all.
Hey. How the heck did she get through these burly Romanian security guys? It's a TV studio. It's the security's not going to be piss poor. How the hell did she get access?
This guy's, I don't know. This guy's obviously some kind of you know what? I tell you what. Here's my theory, right? My theory is she works there. Okay.
I thought that.
This is just my theory. She works there. Her husband works there. Her husband's been knocking off the presenter. She's lost it. That's my theory.
Possible. Interesting theory. Or you could just blame Mr. Tate or something like that.
Yeah, well, it is Romania after all, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right, where's my mouse gone?
Tony says she threw like a lassie.
She did throw like a lassie. It was pitiful. Pitiful to watch, mate. Pitiful. Right. Oh, this was a cracker. And it's an old one, but it was a cracker, isn't it? And
can you read the text, John?
Yes, I'll read it out for you. It's Michelle Moan, and this was 2016. But she had the gumption to post this again recently. Lady Michelle Moan. Most embarrassing moment. Speaking in Vietnam to 3,000 people. Thought this was a 6-year-old man. Thought this was a 6-year-old and picked him up. He's a full-grown man. And to be fair, he doesn't look that perturbed about it. He looks quite happy.
He looks pretty happy. Got us full of plastic. Got us full of silicone there.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. I thought that was quite good.
Lady Michelle Mone.
Lady Michelle
Controversial Lady
Mone.
Michelle Mone.
Yeah. She had a few, what would you call it? What did you call them? She had a few contracts.
She's short of what?
She got a few.
She's what?
She got a few contracts during the.
Oh, yes.
The old, you know what?
During the you know
Oh.
what?
You can't really show that one. I'll just skip past that. I thought it was quite
quick.
funny though. Right, this was a video as well. That
I've seen this before. This is funny.
yeah, once China start mocking you, right, for being woke, then you know the game's a bogey, as they say. So
Mate, they've always been mocking us.
So yeah, I know. So this guy was dressed properly as a man, and his girlfriend slapped him, and he wanted to give her a dink back, but obviously couldn't because there was a police officer standing waving handcuffs at him. So he then obviously identified as a woman and gives her her just desserts. But you know, when China are mocking you, you've really got to think, what the hell is happening with our society?
They deserve a good mocking themselves anyway.
Oh yeah,
those Asian countries deserve a bit of a mocking.
So,
high IQ, my arse.
I don't know who Anya Taylor-Joy is, but she didn't like this one. But it is quite good. If these two had a child, their eyes would be perfectly spaced. I thought that was quite witty, actually.
And it's not happy. Delete this.
Yeah, delete this. She wasn't happy. And that's it.
Ow!
That's it. That's me done.
That's it.
That's us done. Well, that's the slide's done. What
time flies, yeah.
Oh, hey, we've done an hour and a half, mate. We've done an hour and a half. So
it's been great.
It's been great. Oh, hold on, Yazzy's saying that she's concerned about contraception. So I'm not quite sure where that came from and how that happened in the troll room. Why are you all talking about contraception? Do you want to give up contraception because that's what's going to happen? You need to give up contraception because population collapse is the next big thing. Don't worry about overpopulation. That's never going to happen. Population collapse is the big problem, and population collapse is going to happen quite quickly because almost everybody is below 2.1.
Well, we're not as bad as like Japan or South Korea. I mean, South Korea's at what, like 0.7 or 0.75.
There's low as that now. Oh my god.
Yeah, check the figures.
Yeah,
0.7 or 0.75. It's really bad.
Yeah. And
Japan not far behind them.
And the problem is they're really homogenous societies because they don't like immigration, and it's crazy. You get a cheap house in Japan though. Go to Japan, you can buy a house in the country for next to nothing.
I saw a story of, I think, was it a Brit? I saw, there was this guy. He was like buying up all these deserted Japanese homes.
Yeah,
it was either in like Tokyo, Osaka, or Fukuoka, or somewhere like that, and he was flipping them. He was like doing them up, and he was like flipping these homes.
Yeah,
this expat, and like they were abandoned, or maybe some elderly people like lived there. Poor people, like they died off or something, and he was acquiring these homes and like flipping them. Crazy.
I know. But yeah.
But the homogeneity, like, but I think like with those, with those societies as well, kind of like, I think they fundamentally understand what has caused the plunge in their in their population growth, in their in their birth levels, the birth rate and whatnot, and it seems to be unstoppable. It's just like go, work, like money, and they're just like too exhausted and too busy to do anything, to like have some sort of like work-life balance
Yeah.
and like raise a family. I remember seeing this documentary on YouTube some years ago about men in Japan who work so damn hard, 6 or 7 days a week, they ended up dying. They were like talking to widows
Yeah.
of these Japanese men who just died off because they were like working so hard. But it's absolutely endemic in some of these East Asian nations. It's
Yeah.
it's it's absolutely killing them, and they can't escape from it. It's like they know what's wrong, but they don't want to escape from it. I remember speaking to someone from one of these countries some years ago, discussing this kind of like with them. It's like, why are you like uber workaholics? And they reckon it comes from a place of inadequacy or something like that.
Yeah.
There's this kind of like social expectation, families, friends, and kind of greater society is that if you're not working like a maniac, you're not socially acceptable.
Yeah.
It's some really weird cultures over that way.
Yeah. And to some respects, our own society done a kind of similar thing, because it used to be that, if you go back to the 40s and 50s, a man could support a family and kids without the wife working. So
Yeah,
the woman was able to have more than 2 or 3 kids because
the family
the
wage.
family the family wage. Yeah, he could afford to
Mhm.
house them and support them just by him working. But that can't happen nowadays. It's gone the wrong way, and
It's
everybody has
inverted.
to work almost.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of these so-called, you've got there was this list that was like released like about a week ago. Oh, here's some of the top 10 countries in the world with the highest IQ.
Yeah,
Okay, all
yeah,
right. You've got Taiwan, you've got Japan, you've got, all the usual suspects, the East Asian suspects. And I look at that and then I think, but there's so many things that are like wrong, going hell of a wrong in their society, such as birth collapse. South Korea have the worst suicide rate in the world. Now, to me, that's not high IQ. In Japan, you have recluses. They're called the hikikomori. You also have them in South Korea as well. People who just don't want to go outside. They're just so depressed, like with their
yeah,
with their lives. They've got
yeah.
huge social problems in these countries.
Uh-huh.
It's an absolute like fight for survival. If the Koreans don't get on the wagon and like really start reproducing like a lot, they face their population dividing by half by the year 2100. It
Mhm.
is predicted.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
bad.
yeah.
But yeah,
Population collapse will
no, no,
happen
no,
really
Johnny
quickly.
Foreigner.
It will happen really quickly, and
Mm.
it will happen in the West as well, because we're not doing enough. We're not doing our bit.
Robin says in Japan, the most attractive man drinks Coca Cola. He said the Greek will go first, though. Really? Why?
The Greek,
The Greek will go first, will they?
I don't know.
Japan is allowing immigration now, says
Yeah,
Shalimi.
that's not working well.
Not working well.
Yeah,
I've seen some videos over some of these chaps overstaying, and Japanese are pretty hands on with that. It's like get out.
yeah. When I mean, it's bad enough, and that I have to be careful how I word this, but it's bad enough in the West when some different cultures try and mingle, but when you try and mingle with a Far Eastern Oriental very conformist country,
Very conservative.
very
Ooh,
conservative, very
conservative.
conformist,
Mm,
it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work at all.
mm.
Oh, right.
Just looking at the comments. Greece is
Yeah.
experiencing a demographic crisis that could lead to a population collapse. Some reasons for the crisis include, I think Robin is still telling us about that.
Yeah.
Interesting. A demographic crisis.
Yeah. Oh. Excuse me. Well, that was good, David. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. You're ready to call it a day, call it a
I
night.
think we're getting there. We're
Yeah,
certainly
we're getting there.
there.
Yeah. It's been good going.
I'm just trying to
It's
think.
been great.
Was there anything else I wanted to cover? Let me have a quick.
What's the troll? What does the troll room say? They got a bit
Yeah.
of energy in them.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, Rainer and Ibiza.
Oh yeah,
I saw
I saw
that.
her. Yeah, well, why
Yeah.
not? You know, I mean, what? They're on holiday, aren't they?
Are they still on holiday?
Yeah,
Oh, they are. Yeah, on
yeah, they're still on
week of
recess.
September. They're on recess. Yeah, it's first or second week in September. Oh, Ginger Growler. Angie. Angie.
Yeah. Oh,
She thought she could get Boris, but nah.
she's scary, isn't she? She is scary.
Julie says, "How many puckers? You too, Shalini. It's been good crack.
So,
Crack's been mighty."
oh, this is interesting. So weight loss jabs, yes, so Ozempic thing, right?
Seems to be all the rage, John.
Could slow down the clock on biological aging. That's that sounds a bit weird. From the Times of all places.
Are we allowed to talk about the O word, or is that a bit triggery?
The what?
Ozempic.
I think I don't know.
It's all right.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, if we're not saying anything one way, as long as you give balance, I think as long as you give balance,
yeah, of course.
you know.
Right. Yeah, there was quite a lot of fear surrounding it through the Oz. I'll call it OZ, the Oz. But, so there's some more positive feedback now about it. You're saying it's helping a lot of people.
Well, that article is saying that there's some research to indicate that it slows down biological aging. So I'm not quite sure if they're saying it's basically a life extension drug. I would need to do some more research before I could determine that. But it's certainly interesting.
Sinister indeed.
Indeed.
Julie says, Angie, and her Venom cocktail, classy bird, that one. Yeah, she's classy.
Yeah. She is.
Fasting slows down aging. I haven't done a good fast in a while.
Oh,
How's yours been going, John?
Well, I did a 7-day fast last week.
Yeah.
I went from last Sunday to Sunday, with just water, a water only fast, and I lost 14 pounds. Now,
amazing, well done.
I have obviously put some of that back on because I've been eating again this week. But yeah, I think the fast it's quite good because it clears out. It's amazing the things that you notice. Like, I've got this little patch of spider veins on my leg, just inside my knee. Those kind of wee blue lines, and it's only about.
Are they like varicose?
Yeah, but it's only like this size, and they're just like the wee thin blue lines. But see, when I fast, they disappear.
Amazing.
So
regeneration.
Well, it's autophagy, and it was a Japanese guy that discovered that. In fact, he won a Nobel Prize for it. So after about 3 days, your body starts to basically consume all the crap that you've got and get rid of it, because it needs to use energy of some kind, and normally that's the stored food that you have. Well, I've got considerably more stored food around my body than you have, obviously, but so your body burns fat, but it also gets rid of all the crap because it tries to make itself more efficient, and it seems to work pretty well.
You said I was listening to you with Ed. Did you said you had a bit of difficulty with purging? Like, did you feel feverish or?
No, you get a kind of after about
headache.
3 or 4 days on a fast, you normally have an intestinal purge because because what will happen is you've not eaten for 3 days, and you think and suddenly it just your fauna that's in your gut, obviously a lot of it dies off, and it's got to go somewhere, and where that is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you can't supplement, like you can't take like some magnesium to kind of help
Oh
like
yeah,
flush yourself out.
yeah, oh, no, I mean, you can take things like magnesium and vitamin D and a little
Oh, that's
salt in
good.
your water and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
but you're still going to get that. You're going to get that kind of purge. What I did do when I started refeeding is I ate too much the first day because I had 3 eggs, which was fine. And then my wife brought me down a curry and I started eating that. And then I thought, no, I need to put that away. And actually, I didn't eat much of it at all, but
Uh-huh.
I just ate too much on what was basically a stomach that hadn't had any food for 7 days. And, that's
You got to
not,
slowly
you've
introduce.
got to introduce it slowly, or you should, it's a bit stupid to go gung ho like that.
Some veggies and just like keep it light and
Oh,
kind of
well,
yogurt and eggs and all
yeah,
that.
I don't eat a lot of veg. I'm kind of carnivore-ish.
That's good.
It seems to work best for me. I used to eat veg, but people, when you think about vegetables don't want to be eaten either, right? Animals don't want to be eaten, so they run away from you, right? Vegetables don't want to be eaten, but they can't run away. So what they do is they're little devious chemical factories, and they produce all these toxins that aren't actually that good for you.
Oh, I saw a specialist talking about this before. What is the name of the substance they release?
I can't remember what it is, but they've got all these.
Ah,
They've got a wide array of chemicals that they release that to try and stop you eating them. It's like brassicas are pretty bad. Things like broccoli and cauliflowers and that. They've got quite a lot in them. Some of the worst are the New World vegetables, the ones that we haven't been exposed to a lot, like peppers, red peppers and chilies and things. Nuts, New World nuts. A lot of them have got things in them. Look at what is it? What's the one that's full of arsenic? There's something that's got quite high in arsenic as well. Almonds.
Almonds, well, a very good source of magnesium,
Yeah,
actually, as well.
and arsenic.
Yeah, almonds. And arsenic. Oh dear.
So they've all got the nightshades are tomatoes, peppers, chilies. Nightshades are really bad for you as well. Apparently, especially if you suffer from any kind of inflammation. Don't stay off the nightshades. Don't eat peppers and tomatoes and stuff like that. And tomatoes not a veg anyway; it's a fruit. But yeah,
I'm just looking for that particular term. What is the name of that plant toxin? It's driving me mad. What is the name of it? I used to know the name of it. Can't find it, but it was the name of this compound. A lot of people who are on the carnivore diet spoke about it. Why we shouldn't eat too many veggies because of this compound they release. But my God, bugs. There's been more news about bugs over the past couple of days of this week as well. And of course, the substance that they have is called chitin.
yeah. Well,
Isn't it?
that's what they make their shells out of, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's bloody well not good for you.
You don't want to be eating
You
that. Yeah.
No, it's quite poisonous to your body, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
It's indigestible.
Yeah. And it's razor sharp. So you end up with loads and loads of little micro cuts in your gut, which is probably going to give you leaky gut.
Yeah,
Which isn't a great. I mean, you don't want to eat a lot of wheat either because that gives you leaky gut. So what that does is it increases this your gut lining, your cells basically. Wheat tends to increase the space between the cells, which allow products that should stay in your gut to leak into your abdomen or bloodstream.
Oh, Ray, you absolute beauty, mate.
Alkaloids.
Oxalates. Yes,
Oxalates.
that's the one. Oxalate, singular, oxalates, noun. That's the one.
Yeah.
If you are, say hardcore vegan, you are at risk from, oxalate like poisoning. It's really not good for your body at all.
Yeah.
Nasty stuff. That is something a lot of people don't know. They don't realize about that. But the gut, you were saying, John, and inflammation, glyphosate.
Yeah, weed killer basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the other thing that vegans don't take into account is that plants seem to have feelings too. You know, the guy that was who was it? Was it what was the guy the Men That Stare at Goats thing was based on? What was his name? God, what was his name? But anyway, he put a lie detector. He had a lie detector that he was training people in the CIA, you know, to try and use telepathy. And he put his lie detector onto a plant that he had in the house just to see. And he watered it. And the reading went down. And when the reading went down on humans, that tended to indicate they were happy. So he thought, that's weird. So he then thought, I wonder what happens if I burn a leaf, right? He didn't even need to burn the leaf. He only had to think about burning a leaf, and the plant went nuts.
So he wasn't connected to anything like this. Like
he wasn't connected to anything, right?
He just thought about burning the plant.
He thought about burning the plant. The plant was connected to the lie detector, and the lie detector went nuts because he thought about burning it. And then, of course, when all this stuff, and this is pure rabbit hole stuff now. When all this stuff, when all this stuff started kicking off, they started doing more experiments on rabbits and things like that. And then the Soviets got wind of it, and they started doing experiments. And they had a rabbit that had just given birth, so they took the rabbit's babies and put them on a submarine. They left the rabbit in the lab, but they wired the rabbit up so they had electrodes in its brain. And
Black project.
Oh, I mean, right. But nothing can, electromagnetic waves don't travel well through water. So when the submarine's down, it was really hard to communicate with it. And they were doing some Russell Targ. That's who it was, Russell Targ. So anyway,
that name rings a bell.
They were trying to do communication telepathically with submarines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had the rabbits on the submarine. And they'd randomly kill a rabbit baby. And the mother back in the lab would go nuts when they did it.
Oh, interesting.
So I'll be doing a bit more research into that. Because I think that's a rabbit hole.
Rabbit hole. That is a rabbit hole. I've read about this somewhere before. Oh gosh, we're kind of getting into like rabbit hole, like theoretical or kind of quantum physics like territory with this sort of thing. But it's incredibly interesting. Yeah, where you have like one person or one device kind of over here, and you have someone over here over like long distance, and that's fascinating stuff.
So I think I'm going to.
Good night, Cellini.
I think I'll tag. Well, I've been trying to send messages to Ed saying this is what we want to look at next week. I don't know if he's picked up on it yet.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe not tonight, mate.
I'm just thinking. I've just been thinking about it. I've not said anything to him. I've just thought about it. And he probably won't watch this because he's away drinking apparently. So if he doesn't watch this and I'm thinking about it, he might pick up on it and see. Because then I'll say to him on Tuesday, I'll go, "What are we going to talk about on Thursday?" And he'll go, "I think we should talk about telepathy." And I'll go, "Yes,
it worked.
It works.
It worked." Yeah. If you are watching or listening, Ed, I'll be having a good night, mate. And strapping up a you-know-what.
Right. So I think with that, I think we will call it quits. And I'd like to thank David for attending at short notice because it's been a blast. It's been a blast.
It's been good. Yeah, cheers, John. Thanks, Troll Room.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I'm sure we'll do it sometime again in the not too distant future. But yeah, it was great filling in for Ed. Like I said, can't replace Ed. Ed's the man. Ed the techie. So yeah, it's been great.
No one is irreplaceable. Not even me. Anyway, remember, you can like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word, evangelize, and should you ever feel the opportunity come upon you that you feel you must donate, then you can always drop me a donation at ko-fi.com/ChasingDescent. And for those that pay regularly, you know who you are, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. And with that, I think, as they say, it's been great for you.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1, mark.
Five by five, we're on a drop ship into hell. It's Friday night and we're all in.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah,
I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe.
So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo.
I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe.
So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know